Unipkaaqutiarsiigpin. Taalaranilaraannasuk unipkaaqtuaq qaaviuraqama. Niviaqsiaqarualuguuq iñuuniaqaniqsuq angayuqaagamini. Sumiteemma.
CITC is all about working with Alaska Native people to connect them to their potential. I would say that I get to witness triumph almost every day. We provide recovery support services, inpatient, outpatient services. We also have a huge investment in education. We also work with people to connect them to meaningful careers. So CITC really looks at community need and tries to respond wherever we can. CITC in its early days really acted as an arm of the federal and state government. 90% of our funds was from the federal and state government. And so for CITC to be used in its highest service to Alaska Native people, we needed to figure out how we could become more self-determined as an organization. And a critical piece of that was building a model of sustainability. We had a small pot of unrestricted money. What could we do with that, right? And could you imagine after saving for as many years as we saved that we're investing it into the video gaming industry? What is the greatest asset of CITC? It's our people. It's who we are. It's our history, right? We held that. And we also held this fact that as an organization, we really needed to be progressive. And our board said, remember, we live in a modern world. We have to pick up the tools of technology to best use them for our people.
Well, I have two young boys. They're teenagers. They're 13 and 16. And the one thing I knew is growing up Alaska Native can be very hard. They don't necessarily have positive images of their people to grasp onto.
So we had to do something that's centered on our mission. And our mission is about our people and our history.
For me, I wanted to hear the voices of our youth, help them reconnect to their culture, but also really re-engage them in how wonderful and how cool the Inupiat culture is.
And that's when this whole dreaming of getting involved in the video gaming industry came about.
So when we entered into this agreement to make a game, my first thought was, how do we de-risk it? Oftentimes people think about de-risking as something really conservative, maybe invest in a bond. But for Alaska Native people, you de-risk by bringing good partners to the table.
And especially getting involved in an industry that we practically knew nothing about. We needed to find a partner who we could trust. We needed to find a partner whose values aligned with us. And we also needed to find a partner who could bring quality products and games to the world. I asked one of the senior staff, Pitta Benz, to find that firm. So she took a couple of months and she talked to some folks in the industry, went to a couple of these gaming conferences. There was this firm that kept popping to the top, and it was Eline Media. She came back to me, she goes, I think we need to have a meeting with these guys. And it was like the end of December, and I said, I tell you what, if they're willing to come to Alaska, first week of January, I'm willing to truly engage with them and find out who they are for a potential partnership.
We're under blizzard conditions here in Anchorage.
Parts of Alaska, they have been getting slammed with a lot of heavy, wet snowfall as of late. In fact, more.
So they came to Anchorage first part of January, and we sat down for that initial meeting.
They earned my trust right away. They came up in the first 3 days. They really tried to talk us out of doing this. They loved our mission as much as we love our mission, and they didn't want us to risk our capital on something so risky. But when they understood our traditional values and how our traditional stories were passed down from generation to generation, they really got inspired.
And so we took this idea/investment opportunity to our board, and the board took the risk. And they had the courage to say, this is bold, and they gave us the authority to move forward. And that's when we signed the first deal with E-Line, and that was to co-create Never Alone. Never Alone is based on a story that we refer to as Inŋitchuŋa. And it is about a young Inupiat girl who is paired with a white fox, who has to overcome all of these challenges and adventures to figure out what's causing an endless blizzard in her environment. And what she needs to do is find the source of that endless blizzard so she could restore harmony and balance back to the community.
Robert Nazarick Cleveland was the storyteller most known for telling the Inŋitchuŋa story. And so since we were inspired by his story to make the spine of the gameplay, we needed to go gain the correct permission. Well, Robert Cleveland had passed away many years ago, so the story was held by his eldest surviving child, and her name is Minnie Gray. And it was really through her that we understood the importance of storytelling and how each storyteller uses a story.
We're asking permission to take our culture and our stories to, this virtual world. We paired Alaska Native elders, storytellers, youth, writers with video gaming experts.
My people lived in this harsh climate, so it was amazing and a gift for me to be able to play that lead ambassador role. We had E-Line come up and visit again in Alaska to show some drawings around the concepts of the game, and they were beautiful, but they kind of looked like Disney. It didn't reflect us as a people. And so they heard that feedback from us, and that's when they found Dima Verikova.
Dima Verikova, take one.
Dima studied in Petersburg, he studied in Inuit art. He immediately started taking pictures of our traditional sculptures and using it to inspire what the character should look like.
I would like to share my love and the beauty of their culture, beauty of their craft, and put it in the game. I am super excited. It's really, really new experience here.
We wanted to make sure the characters reflected our people, that the place, the Arctic, that you felt it when you were immersed in gameplay, that the colors were right in the sky, that people understood the ice and how it moved.
So there were 24 cultural ambassadors, and it ranged from very technical advice, like here's how you use Ebola, to very ethereal and values-based advice about this is why it's important to portray a character a certain way.
And it was really important for me that CITC's values of interdependence, resiliency, accountability, and respect, that they were the core of the experience. And I think that's what you have when people really engage in playing the game. In November of 2014, Never Alone was launched to the world. And the reception that we received worldwide was unbelievable. It was overwhelmingly positive. We have had about 2.5 million downloads to this point. Probably the most exciting award that we won was a British BAFTA award. We sent Dima Verikova and Ishmael Hope, who was the Inupiat writer and storyteller, to London to pick up the awards. We were just so heartened that, this hypothesis that the world was ready to use the technology of video games to share and extend culture, that people responded to that in such a positive way.
It really has sparked a whole movement. When it launched, we started getting phone call after phone call about not only about the game, but how did you do this and why did you do this? And there's a hunger for, this type of game or even this type of process in the media.
We need more of this in the video gaming industry. And we need more games where people can understand one another. They can be immersed in somebody's story, someone's culture, and they get a glimpse into their way of life.
This game has definitely honored my culture. I really do think the way it was developed with Interdependence, with the E-Line team, and the process we used for drawing voices in really speaks to the way traditional support systems for the Inupiat people are reflected in day-to-day life.
So CITC has developed a long-term partnership with E-Line Media, and we will continue to build out a portfolio of games called World Games. I think there's a huge future out there, and we're not sure where this investment's going to take us, but I'm pretty excited about the ride.